I want you to think deeply about this. Think about that statement. Why is it happening? Why do two Pennsylvania State police officers, one gets killed, the other just gets shot? Obviously, why did they have? Why are cops getting ambushed?
Is it because of their relations with the army?
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe. What else? Who we represent? Who do they represent? The government, exactly. People are really torqued off of the government right now. Nobody believes what the president's saying anymore. Nobody believes the reports on Benghazi. Nobody believes that there's going to be Social Security for our kids 20 years from now. So people are upset. They're walking this fine line, right? And realize the same thing happens in a business. What if you work for a gun manufacturer right now? What if you worked in a facility that did animal testing on behalf of humans? In other words, for medical testing, they're doing animal tests. Do you think there could be a possibility somebody might go off on you on a certain day or a certain time? You know, it's very, very possible. And we need to think ahead when we're talking about some of these things. Now, in this next slide, I'm going to talk about two videos that are public domain. I'm not necessarily going to show them. I think a lot of people have seen Run, Hide, Fight. Let me know if you have or not. Yes or no? 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 Okay, I'm going to show you the video then. This video is public domain. You can show it to your employers. You can show it to your family. It is a good, solid video. I know you.
Good to see you, sir.
This is a good, solid video on what to do during an active killer situation. Now, I'm no longer going to be saying active shooter. That is a term from the past. Because what happened a couple weeks ago up in Canada, in New York State, with a police officer is going to be coming to our doors very soon, and it does not necessarily involve guns. You need to be aware of that. Okay, so active killer is somebody kills until A, he runs out of bullets, runs out of victims, he kills himself, or he gets captured. Only approximately 5% of the time do they actually get captured. Very seldom. They generally commit suicide as soon as they hear the sirens coming now. For every second that goes by in an active killer situation, somebody dies. All right. So we need to think about that. I'm going to show you Run, Hide, Fight. And there's also another video called Options for Considerations During Active Shootings. Again, these are public domain. You can get them on YouTube. Have your family watch these because it's good, solid information.
It may feel like just another day at the office, but occasionally, life feels more like an action
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
than reality.
I'm sorry. That happens sometimes. Thank you for telling me. Yeah. Oh, it's on that screen now, isn't it? Okay. Let's go back to this. And we will go to. I'm sorry. Bear with me here for a second. Okay. Displays. All right, sorry about that.
Please stand by. We're experiencing technical difficulties at this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it happens, doesn't it happen all the
okay.
time?
Live TV, you know, things are going to happen.
Yeah, lots of things that happen. This is the reason why I always present my own stuff. All right, I'm sorry. Just happened. You gotta be kidding me.
It may feel like just another day at the
Maybe you could just tell us.
I just mirrored her. Okay. Wow, are you not seeing the same thing I'm seeing here? No. It's amazing.
Hey, want me to go get a Mac or whatever I told you that?
No, actually, it has something to probably do with the projector at this point.
We'll find somebody that's half our age real quick.
Okay. It's not staying on mirror. That's the problem. One second. I'm sorry. You have a remedy?
Instead of playing.
Yeah. Okay. You're seeing what I'm seeing, right? Okay. This is something I never encountered before.
Do you want me to try to work at it?
Pardon me?
Do you want me to try it and you can keep talking?
Sure, if you want.
I won't be able to probably fix it.
I could probably play it from a different source, but let's just do this.
I feel like if you shut it down and start it, it might work. I've had that happen with Macs.
Have you? Here we go.
Oh, that worked too.
It may feel like just another day at the office. But occasionally, life feels more like an action movie than reality. The authorities are working hard to protect you and to protect our public spaces. But sometimes bad people do bad things. Their motivations are different. The warning signs may vary, but the devastating effects are the same. And unfortunately, you need to be prepared for the worst. If you were ever to find yourself in the middle of an active shooter event, your survival may depend on whether or not you have a plan. The plan doesn't have to be complicated. There are 3 things you could do that make a difference: run, hide, fight. First and foremost, If you can get out, do. Always try and escape or evacuate, even when others insist on staying. Encourage others to leave with you, but don't let them slow you down with indecision. Remember what's important, you, not your stuff. Leave your belongings behind and try to find a way to get out safely. Trying to get yourself out of harm's way needs to be your number one priority. Once you are out of the line of fire, try to prevent others from walking into the danger zone and call 911. If you can't get out safely, you need to find a place to hide. Act quickly and quietly. Try to secure your hiding place the best you can. Turn out lights, and if possible, remember to lock doors. Silence your ringer and vibration mode on your cell phone. And if you can't find a safe room or closet, try to conceal yourself behind large objects that may protect you. Do your best to remain quiet and calm. As a last resort, if your life is at risk, whether you are alone or working together as a group, fight. Act with aggression. Improvise weapons. Disarm him and commit to taking the shooter down, no matter what. Try to be aware of your environment. Always have an exit plan. Know that in an incident like this, victims are generally chosen randomly. The event is unpredictable and may evolve quickly. The first responders on the scene are not there to evacuate or tend to the injured. They are well trained and are there to stop the shooter. Your actions can make a difference for your safety and survival. Be aware and be prepared. And if you find yourself facing an active shooter, there are 3 key things you need to remember to survive. Run, hide, fight.
Now this is a good video. Would you agree? Very quick. You can learn a lot. Now, Dave, and I will disagree on the issue of whether this is the best video out there. I'll tell you that right now because it's not. There is no best video. One of the things about this that you need to know is that since we've been telling people to run, hide, or fight, things have gotten better for us. This is how they've gotten better. Active shooters in schools are now doing something else. See, the thing about an active shooter or an active shooter, cowards. They don't want to fight a person that fights back. They don't want to fight an armed person. As soon as they hear sirens coming, they kill themselves. The only thing they want is to be the highest on the leaderboard, the amount of kills they got. That's all they want. remembered. Now, if you think this through, that door being blocked means that person's maybe got 6 minutes before everybody shows up. He's got a choice. Do I try to get in this door or do I go down the hall? Time's wasted. This is what they're thinking. On the other hand, the people that were killed in Colorado during the Batman shooting, the people that were killed, the people that got up and ran down the aisles, easy shot, running straight away from you, straight out. The people that were killed were the people that dove underneath their seats, that were literally burned by the brass from the bad guys' gun. That's how close they were to that individual. Why? Because the shot was easy in comparison to trying to make it difficult. See what I'm saying? I get a lot more people this way than that way. You got to think the way they think. Now, again, there's 2 videos I'd highly recommend: Run, Hide, Fight. The other one is called Options for Consideration During Active Shooters. They're both developed by DHS. They're decent videos. They pretty much say the same thing. I hope this works. I think I know what the problem is. That's what the problem is right there. Now we know what the problem is, Jill.
The FBI is still refusing to call the horrific attack at Vaughn Foods in Moore, Oklahoma recently an act of terrorism. And even though the district attorney in Cleveland County is seeking the death penalty for the accused killer, Alton Nolan, the DA still calls the beheading of one co-worker and the stabbing of another an isolated case of a disgruntled worker. But the people I talk with in Oklahoma are not afraid to call it as they see it, telling me all the signs are there that this was clearly a terrorist killing. In fact, some companies are so concerned that they're reevaluating their own security and seriously considering allowing their employees to carry a firearm while on the job so they can protect themselves and their fellow employees when every second counts. Just like Mark Vaughn, an off-duty reserve deputy, did that tragic day. Take a look.
It's a major wake-up call.
We know that he's loose. He has stabbed someone.
It's here. Evil is here.
It sounds like he's running around out here. And that's a gunshot.
Here in the heartland, it did hit this close to home.
Lock that door.
You can.
Yeah, we're trying.
There were multiple attempts by multiple people to stop this attack. They tried chairs, they tried kicking.
But chairs are not a good defense against a knife.
Mark Vaughn, who is the chief operating officer of Vaughn Foods and is also a reserve deputy, confronted Nolan and shot him and stopped the threat and the assault that was taking place.
It's just beyond belief that someone amongst us could do something that horrific.
Okay. Now, I ask you the question now. Is this terrorism or is this workplace violence?
Could be both.
If you were in that establishment, that business, if you were in that business, does it really matter? Does it really matter? It doesn't matter, right? Somebody got their head cut off. Okay? The bottom line is that this is coming to a place near and dear to our hearts. And we need to put this in our heads. We need to be prepared. And I'm not here to spread doom and gloom. I'm just here to tell you there's several components to dealing with workplace violence. All right? Number one component is awareness. This gentleman that went off at that establishment, converted to Islam, that's not an issue in and of itself. But he's a radical. All of a sudden, what's he do? He commits a workplace violence homicide in the same manner that the terrorists have been doing, ISIS have been doing. All right? Luckily, he was stopped. But he did kill one person and seriously injure another. What we're looking for when we talk about awareness is not only awareness of the offender, but basically taking a pulse every day of those employees that you work with. And when I say a pulse, I'm saying this, just like a polygraph machine. You say, good morning, how you been today? I noticed you got Yankees baseball cap on. You know what? I like the Yankees. You like the Yankees too, huh? That's great. And then we see this person, you know, every week, every day, or whatever. You say to them, hey, I saw the Yankees lost last night. They're going to do better next time. Okay? That's establishing a rapport, right? That's something you want to be doing. Now, all of a sudden, that employee comes in one day. Maybe he never talked to you. He just kind of okay. Now he's still nice to you. Or maybe he's really disheveled. Maybe he looks like he hasn't slept in 3 days. Maybe he starts to smell. Maybe he starts arguments for no reason with people. That meter goes like this. That's what you're looking for. A person can be grumpy at work. Hell, I'm grumpy half the time at work myself. But you take that pulse to see what norm is and what is not abnormal. And we need to start thinking preventatively and be aware of what's going on around us. Are you with me? Preparation and training. Fire drills, not fire talks. If you have a policy, you need to test that policy out. I had a woman ask me, kids are getting off the bus, okay, coming into school. I'm the first person at the door with these kids. And by the way, the most dangerous position to be in a building is the position or the job task of being the greeter. Doesn't matter if you're in a police department, in a college, in a hospital. So this woman says to me, I just want to throw something by because I asked my boss this and it was kind of weird. The kids are getting off the bus. There's about 700 kids inside the school already, and an active shooter is in the parking lot shooting at kids. And the choice is, do I lock the doors to protect the kids that are still inside, or do I leave the doors open for the shooter to be able to come in and hope those kids can escape into the building? I said, you asked your boss this, right? Yeah, we asked the administration. I said, what did they tell you? Leave the doors open. Did they really try this out yet? Did they simulate this? And, they developed this policy. Did they simulate it? Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You've got 700 kids inside here that you're going to protect. You maybe got 50 kids out in the parking lot. I'm here to tell you those kids were scattered like crazy as soon as they hear the gunshots. Hardest thing to hit is a moving target, right? So they're probably going to find something, some cover. And it's lesser of three evils here. What do we do? But they have to think this through. The problem is if you don't shut those doors, what's going to happen? He's going to walk and commit mass murders. Because that's what he wants, the mass murders, not just one or two. We're also dealing with legal issues, HR issues, and we'll talk a little about that. My partner, Marie D'Amico, she's an attorney. Some of the information I'm going to share with you today comes from that. There's also things dealing with the physical security of the buildings that you're at, and also dealing with cyber security and social media. Hey, this guy that's acting weird, there's nothing illegal about you friending him, or if he won't let you friend him on Facebook or on social media, make up a name, okay, and friend him based on the fact of his likes. He likes shooting a lot. He likes, whatever, going in the mountains and camping. Friend him. Because all these active shooters, they all have one thing in common. They want to brag. They want to have this billboard that says, I shot more people than Charles Whitman in 1966 at the Texas Towers. Because that's who they idolize. And they will post things like cartoons, videos. They'll write stories. Shu at Virginia Tech wrote a story about how this goes into a school and starts killing people. And the professor goes to the administrator and says, hey, this guy, I don't know, he's weird, man. You don't talk to nobody, you don't socialize with nobody. And he wrote this paper. Look at this paper. This is kind of weird. Don't you? The administrator goes, yeah, it's weird, but you know what? People died in Virginia Tech as a result. Oh, by the way, one thing I didn't tell you. The Colorado incident with Batman. Do you know he went to 2 other theaters that night? And he passed them by? Do you know why he passed them by? Because the 3rd theater he came to, the house, to a big safe zone. No guns allowed in this place. It's like open the doors to come in. See, I'm not even saying you have to carry a gun. All I'm saying to you is that the possibilities there, they may run into somebody that's going to fight back. And I'm here to tell you. Lieutenant Grossman, the man that goes around speaking famously around this country on deals of terrorism, on killing, one of the leading trainers in use of force in this country, analyzing. I saw him a couple weeks ago. He gave a class in Rochester, New York, where I'm from. And he said, where they're going to hit is going to be the daycares, the elementary schools. I know why? Because we've taught the high schoolers and the college kids to fight back. Do you want to go and fight a 16-year-old in the best shape of his life? I don't think so. See, we got to be smarter than them. All right, so we also got to act, whether on statistics, proactive, reactive. Understand there are a lot of issues involved in workplace violence. So I want to take a few minutes here, and I just want you to take a few seconds, a few minutes. I'm going to give you like 3 or 4 minutes. And let's make this a group, that a group, and this a group here. I want you to answer these questions. All right, number 1, what type of business environment are you currently working at? Number 2, what risks do you perceive as possible at this place that you work at? Does your employer have a plan? Is it fire talk or fire drill they have planned? Do you know your state laws on self-defense or defense of the third person? How would you rate your level of situational awareness? A, B, C, D, or F. Okay? Can we do that? I'll give you 5 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay? 5 minutes.
You want to guys come this way? Live streaming this thing, if you want to know what's going on.
All right.
Come on down, because I know.
Let's do it all right now.
It's not right now.
Hello, Milwaukee.
That's not even Milwaukee, it's global. We've got people from the world watching.
Hello, rest of the world.
All right. Because Joe, we know if we start talking about universities, here's a particular one you could answer. We've never been down.
Very tired. So have those
Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay. I'm at Marquette University.
Okay.
So I work in campus law enforcement,
Okay.
But obviously college setting.
Yeah. Okay.
Any questions here?
Sorry, how are you for you?
Oh.
What risks do you perceive are possible?
Well, certainly what we're talking about today, active killers, all kinds of workplace violence, campus violence.
What kind of specific risks? Do you have employees that sometimes have issues with other employees, or
Well, we do.
employees that have issues with
We
significant
do.
others?
It's
Yeah, it's a mix of everything. When we deal with employees threatening other employees, we deal with staff members' families coming in. We deal with DSS coming in and taking children from our.
we deal with a tremendous amount of patient against staff assault, which is actually exploding now in healthcare. Far worse now than it has been.
And I think you guys and the college campus of this college, like a closed business, and that closed business, I have pretty good control over who access control over who's in there. You guys have constantly rotating doors for back, for lack of a better term. You have a lot of people that come in, don't you have no idea what they're about.
Yeah, we have pretty good access control on our campus, and we have a lot of card readers. Well, in that our buildings we can actually shut down, pretty quickly. But we do run an urban campus, obviously, so we always have public. Everything's open to the public. A lot of the buildings are open to the public, but I think the bigger risk, and Guy hit on it earlier, for us is you might say that person walks in and they look weird, and you're like, oh, it's not a big deal. That's just so and so. But when information becomes siloed, you don't know that red flag went off that day and that red flag on
Absolutely.
Facebook was that way. Like one of the things I think we do very well is we have a lot of teams in place that assess all the risk indicators and kind of, because when that information becomes siloed, the risk goes up for someone to do that. We don't know if they're going to snap and go into a killing situation. So.
And that's a good point, because we have a new threat team in our county that's made up of not just the county sheriff's department, but hospital officials, DSS, social workers, the homeless shelters, all the behavioral health alliances. And it actually brings all these resources together to not only identify these red flags that may be out there, but also to pool all these resources on them that would otherwise not even know about them, let alone work on them.
Next question will be, and I already know the answer to this one, Joe. It's a good one for you guys. But does your employer have a plan? Is there a plan for responding to workplace violence?
Yeah, I mean, I can start with that. I think first of all, the plan has to be identifying and having those teams in place, which it sounds like both of our institutions do. But so you have a prevention plan, something to be aware and identify, and then also a response plan.
Mm-hmm.
So you have multi-jurisdictional response to the incident, and like Guy said, every second could be a life, and that could be additional lives. And what is the doing the training, implementing training for a multi-jurisdictional response to try to shut something like that down. So obviously the prevention side of it, the response side, and then obviously the follow-through side. So we have a very, I mean, I would imagine you guys do too, a pretty well thought out plan.
We do. We have an emergency response plan for pretty much any kind of emergency, whether it's severe weather or a local disaster or active shooter, or I mean, you name it. I know I'm leaving some out. Medical emergencies, everything, and we drill all those.
It's almost like
we have no talks.
It's almost like a dual plan, because being a hospital, healthcare facility, we have to plan for disasters outside in the community that we'll be responding to, or that will be influencing into our area. But we also have to plan for internal disasters.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're mandated actually to, Joint Commission mandates and regulates hospitals to have all those emergency plans and emergency drills. We have like child abduction drills, infant abduction drills.
That right there might be something to be aware of.
Yeah, that's what he's.
Yeah, and they actually give us the
Thanks
frequency.
for that, Guy.
Yeah, it's okay.
Thanks for that.
Little pucker factor there for a moment.
I ducked behind you to see you know.
How we doing?
That helped.
I just got to say pucker factor on camera here, so that's good.
Even the camera jumped a little bit.
Okay, so let's talk about some of these questions. You want to talk about one of them, at least? About you?
Sure. We actually all three of us work at the same place. We work at a technical college in Wisconsin. And we see a lot of possible risks. There's many entrances to every building on our campus. None of them are locked. They are open at 6:30 in the morning, closed at 9 o'clock, or locked up at 9 o'clock at night. Manually locked by maintenance people. And on every single entrance, there's a sign in the state of Wisconsin. It's every public institution is you can't have no weapons, no concealed carry, nothing. So every single entrance has a little sign that says no weapons allowed.
Do you have armed officers in schools?
We have what?
Armed officers in schools?
No. We have a part-time officer from the city of Fenimore that comes periodically, a couple times a week, and walks the campus.
Okay, we'll talk about OSHA in a minute. That's your place. How about you? Where do you guys work? What place you work at? I'm in law enforcement. You're in law enforcement. Okay, so we know what your problem is. Go ahead.
So we're from the prosecutor's office. Obviously, that could be seen as an easy target. We definitely had our share of run-ins in our office with people that want our colleagues' heads. So we're an easy target. Do we have a plan? Unfortunately, I'd like to say we have more like formal plans, but I don't know what we do. We really rely heavily on our office investigator. We recently
Your office investigator is armed.
He is.
Probably, right?
Correct.
Retired, probably too, right?
Well, yes, he happens to be. Well, that's what John had asked us. Do you have somebody armed? And I said, well, we work in a courthouse, so of course down on the first floor, all of the retired gentlemen who are extremely nice guys.
And handsome too.
Either shiny tops or white usually. You know what? They're great people, but we can probably protect ourselves as well as they can protect us. I guess I just don't have a lot of confidence in that.
That's that there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate this group here. Well, just another. What do you guys work?
We work at a hospital.
You work at a hospital. Okay. So do they have a plan there?
We do. We have a plan for any kind of emergency or natural disasters, community disasters.
Have you guys ever heard of the University of Rochester? It's one of the best hospitals in the United States. It's a teaching hospital. I teach their security and their peace officers, whatever you're doing. And they're all in the forefront right now with Ebola. One of the head trainers comes to me the other day and says, hey, the hospital wants to do a plan for Ebola. What do you want to do a plan for Ebola? You don't know what to do with biological and treat biological hazards. We've been talking about treating biological hazards in law enforcement and public safety for the last 8 years. What's changed? They got a plan that they never practiced. Now it's real. Okay? Now it's real. Okay. So, I'm going to go around this room and ask you the question. Do you know your state laws on defense of yourself or third person justifiable use of force? Protect yourself. Yes or no? You should kind of know. I know he knows. How about it? Okay. You need to know. You need to know. Nobody can tell you not to protect yourself. Nobody. I don't care if you're in a school. I don't care if you're in a hotel establishment. Nobody can tell you not to protect yourself. The difference is your ability to retreat safely. That's the difference. When you become the aggressor, you end up becoming the criminal. So just be aware of that. Protecting yourself or a third person within certain constraints is legal across all 50 states. How would you rate your level of situational awareness? Come on, help me. Anybody?
I have C.
Huh? C?
I would like to think it's closer to 8.
Okay.
I think it depends on the situation and my current state of mind.
Okay. Did they bang on the door, give you a nice little state of mind change?
Thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome. It's okay.
Yeah,
I had to run today. But the bottom line is, when you hear that door hit, you had 60 seconds to do something to save your life. 60 seconds. Have you thought about this room? Have you thought about the fact that Virginia Tech, people died as a result of opening up the door to see if they were real gunshots they were hearing, and if there was real cordite in the air they were smelling? That sounds goofy, doesn't it? But it's true.
So what's the difference between being a super paranoid person and worrying about that kind of stuff all the time? Because I know I have lots of friends that think that someone's going to walk into our apartment at 3 o'clock every single day and kill us. Like,
right now, the odds of this happening, is about the same odds of getting hit by lightning for your business. Problem is, it's happening more frequently.
right.
So preparation, not paranoia, is the answer. Preparation is the answer. And you're going to see in the situational awareness chart that I got from the federal government, you're going to be afraid. That's a good thing. You realize that. There's not a football player, even coach said it when he got up on stage today, the little butterflies. I'm a professional musician as well. If I don't feel those butterflies when I first stand in front of a crowd, I'm going home because I'm going to really make a mistake I'm going to regret. Okay, it's normal. You learn how to function within that. So you need to decide, as Lieutenant Grossman, Colonel Grossman basically talks about, we've got the predator, the wolf, your active killer that comes in. And the only thing he wants to do is destroy the flock. He's going to get as many as he possibly can. Okay? And you got the flock. The only thing they want to do is flock around. They're happy just eating and grazing and being happy. They don't care about, they're not worried. They worry about the wolf. But the problem is that they're not prepared to deal with the wolf. They don't have the tools to deal with the wolf. Then you got the sheepdog. Now the sheepdog is a strange kind of dichotomy because he's got parts of the wolf in him, but he doesn't kill just for the fun of it. He protects that flock. He'll do anything to protect that flock. Now there's a little bit of the wolf in the sheepdog. There is no sheepdog in the wolf. Here's the $100 question. Which one of those three are you? You need to decide that right now. If you're going to be the sheep, you better have a sheepdog with you. Hopefully it's not an old security guard working midnights on the night shift at the hospital. By the way, where does all the problems go when it really hits the fan? Emergency at the hospitals. So the bottom line is this guy here has to be dealt with. You can't ignore him. You can't ignore him. Ignoring him is a big mistake. That's what they're hoping at. They're hoping we're going to be protecting somebody's First Amendment rights. I'm not saying violate somebody's First Amendment rights. Is written is a pretty good, clear indicator. Here's another indicator. 2 weeks before Virginia Tech, Shu is on a pistol range. He's got silhouettes on the ground, shooting at silhouettes on the ground. Now, if you happen to be a citizen going to the range to shoot law-abiding ammunition, doing the law-abiding thing, when was the last time you saw somebody shooting at silhouettes on the ground? Something's wrong. Right?
I think I get confused with being prepared and then actually like being prepared for something bad to happen. Because you can tell me a bajillion things that I should do, but I'm the type of person that would freeze. Like I don't even think I would hide. Like I would literally just sit there because that's just my mentality when something bad like that happens or anything like that. So how do you like literally mentally prepare for something
Okay,
like that?
we're going to talk about that a little bit. But here's what I want to tell you right now. You're not a mother yet, are you?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely not. Because if you were, I can make this a real easy transition in your head. This is you protecting your kid. Instantly you understand it.
I would hope.
I would hope.
But, I mean, I drug my cousin around on a lawnmower for about a solid 2 minutes. And his back was, I mean, he was messed up because I was messing around. But like, I would hope that I would, but I don't know if that would actually happen.
This is a picture I took at the Tokyo subway at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. I ask you a question. In any major city in the United States, how situationally aware are these people? This is 2 o'clock in the morning in Tokyo. All the sheep. I'm here to tell you this thing right here is your biggest hurdle to situational awareness. 70% of businesses have no policy on workplace violence. I called the college that I worked at and I said, hey, I want to get your policy so I can redact it and use it as an example in my class. No, there's not no policy. 2 minutes later, the attorney, the head attorney for the college called me and says, why are you asking these questions? So we have to have a plan. And the plan is nothing that extreme. First thing is that security really starts with you. Nobody's immune. There's many types of threats. Employees are the first line of defense, and it's a shared responsibility. The first step is saying to yourself, it can happen here. I'm here to tell you, I really thought 2 weeks ago, when it happened in New York State and what had happened in Canada, it was going to be like a Mumbai type of incident, terrorism start to happen all over the country. Because what they're going to do is they're going to hit 3 different local locations in many different spots all at once, so that it just totally wipes out our resources. That's what they're looking to do. And so that it destroys our economy. And they're going to go after the sheep, our precious little sheep, our little kids. So when we talk about workplace violence, we're talking about things like threats, intimidation, physical violence. We're talking about stalking. We're talking about disruptive behavior, employees, employers, visitors. And by the way, if you're in a school, chances are the person that's going to commit the crime in the school is somebody that comes in, it's a contract employee from outside the school. Somebody that fills the pop machine. Somebody that fills the stacks. That's good of the little kids. All right. So be aware of that. A lot of different types of violence here. It's just not being hit. A lot of psychological intimidation. Bullying. I'm here to tell you, there is no difference between the bully you faced in the schoolyard in 6th grade than the one you work with today. The only difference is the playgrounds change. They're the same personality. Jill does a great job dealing with bystander mobilization, how to deal with bullies. So there's a lot of different threats. I mean, there's access control. When you talk about workplace violence, how easy is it to get in your building? Okay? You've got outside criminal things that happen outside, preying on your employees. You've got workplace violence between the employees and others, spouses, things like that happen all the time. And then you have things like cybersecurity, stalking. All right? We talked about this. The key is, this is a very good saying. The reason why you do the universal greeting with everybody is to create a reasonable doubt that you are not the stereotype of the job that people think you are. Okay? Stereotype of a cop, authoritarian, goes too far, always has the upper hand. Stereotype of security guard, somebody too stupid to pass the cops test. Stereotype of an engineer, very anal. Stereotype of a doctor, somebody that's real smart because he knows everything. Now, those are negative stereotypes, obviously, but don't we all kind of think that way sometimes? So when you walk up to somebody and you're the parking attendant for a local hospital and you're going to tell this person they can't park in front of the ED, all right, and you start off by doing this, pointing to the sign to the person. This is God's honest truth. They just had to train you and our people on this. They were doing this. I'm like, okay, no problem. I says, I'm going to show you. I want you to think about something. I'm your doctor. You come to see me because you have a problem. I take a piece of paper and I write down on the piece of paper, you have cancer. I put it in front of the person and I walk away. How would you feel? You did their job, they told you you had cancer. That doesn't work that way. You have to create a reasonable doubt that you're not that stereotype. Hi, again. I'm Homeland Security. I noticed you've been laundering the homes. Okay. You know, this is a really difficult place. Is there something I can help you with? And they say, oh yeah, I'm looking for Dean Carnes' office. Well, that's a hard one to find. Let me walk you over there. Is that okay? Sure. So I walk them over to the office and go, here's Dean Carnes' office. And I go, is there anything else I can help you with, sir? He goes, no, thank you. We walk away. Now I'm here to tell you, if that person was there, they would say, what? Oh, there's some really nice people that work here. If he was there to do harm, he would say, these guys are wrong. They didn't intimidate me. They didn't make me feel like I was a jerk. But, you know, I don't want to run into these people. These guys, I'm going to go someplace else. It's exactly the way the Israelis deal with their security in airports. They have people sit down right next to you, and they go, oh, plainclothes. I noticed you're going to go Disney World. I noticed the brochure. And you go, yeah, they're looking at Disney World. You go, I'd really like to go myself. And they can start a conversation with you. And they can tell instantly Just by the way you act, whether or not you're serious about going to Disney World. Now, if you were to say, take off, or give them a look like you're a jerk, they'll walk away. 10 minutes later, 2 guys in uniforms will show up, and they'll be doing a search on you. That's the way they work. But it starts off with a conversation. 90% of the stuff that we can avoid starts off with this conversation. It's about non-escalation. And I'm sorry, I'm really running late because of some of the problems that we have. But we got to talk about civility. When I was a kid, I was taught by the nuns, who today really are the biggest street gang in America. No, I think police are. But I got to be honest with you, I shiver as soon as I get next to one in full habit. Because they taught me things like, somebody's got their hands full going up to a door, open it up for them. They taught me that if I answer the phone, I say, good morning, my name is Guy, this is the Rossi restaurant. Oh, Sister Helen Trez, who'd you want to talk to? My father? Okay, should I take a message? Can I take a message? Okay, all right, thank you very much, sister. And hang up the phone. That's lost. That's lost. I want you to think about how you feel when you're walking someplace and you open that door for somebody and they go, what word comes to mind? Yeah. All right. Why? Because those things are no longer taught. Listen, law enforcement of the future. You are under arrest. Bad guy. F you. I ain't going. You ain't taking me. Police officer, don't resist arrest. Put your hands behind your back. You think I'm kidding? You think I'm kidding? It's scary. People would rather deal with people on this than deal with people in real life. And we're losing the battle with this. We need to be talking. Civility is very important. Talking to people, saying good morning to people, being genuinely interested in them, listening to them. Civility must recognize there are many differing interests which divide our increasingly diverse society, producing endless serious confrontation over difficult moral and distributional issues. I'm here to tell you, I have nothing against Islam. I have nothing against Muslims. I don't care who it is. It could be Martians that show up tomorrow at my front door. If they want to kill me, my family, cut my head off, guess what? It ain't going to happen. Adolf Hitler, people remember that name? We swore we were never going to let it happen again. It's happening again. Okay? Don't let anybody fool you. There's only one person responsible for your safety. That's you. Hey, listen, we don't live in a Star Trek. You dial 911 because you're about to become a victim of a crime. Captain Kirk does not beam down 500 police officers, EMTs, and fire. They will never get there in time. Even if they're in the parking lot looking at you, they can't get there in time. So it's very important you understand that you are initially responsible for your own safety. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with the government right now. People are striking out the government. So if you represent a governmental agency in any sort of way, prosecutor, okay, hospital, doctors tell me I can't have that shot. They don't have the serum to cure Ebola yet. Okay? What's going to happen in your place? What is it? You tell me. Have you thought about it? So we want to encourage cooperation, collaboration, and cooperation. These are the occupations that are most at risk. People working alone. Taxi cab drivers is the #1 most dangerous job in the United States. You would think the police, armed firemen, they're like 17th on the list. Someplace in between is now ED personnel, nurses, healthcare workers that deal with the public in either violent situations or they go to people's houses to help people out. So if you're in that business, realize it's a problem. So conflict 90% of the time is based upon the unmet expectations, and it's usually related to past experiences. So when you're talking with somebody and you're going through your best persuasion sequence, realize if they're going through that cycle, that repeated cycle about going into the past, 90% of the time they're going to do that. You got to get them off of yesterday and put them on. I'll let you deal with what happened today. I'll help you to the best of my ability, sir, ma'am, I promise. Okay, but there's nothing I can do about what happened yesterday. I will help you to the fullest extent that I may do so. Please let me help you. Okay. 3 types of conflict. When somebody's anxious, it really is conflict. You tell me you're going to give me a shot. I hate needles. Guess what? Before the nurse is able to say, this is only going to feel like a little skin prick, you know, what, right? Never does. But guess what? Do I hear that? Probably not. Because when you're anxious, the first thing that happens is your hearing starts to shut down. It doesn't need it. You're in the beginning fight or flight stages, and now what happens is you shut down what you don't need. You don't need to hear when you're going to get that shot. Verbal aggression. We know when that's happening. Somebody's throwing the F-bombs at you. And physical aggression. When somebody's anxious, we want to be supportive. Okay? I had to have a spinal tap about a year ago. And the same day I had to have a bone tap graft. Okay? I hate needles. So you imagine where my anxiety level was. But the nurse says to me, Guy, I had to have this done myself last year, and I got to tell you something, it's really not that bad. I know you're not listening to me, but hear me out. We're going to put this little needle in there. We're going to put a little lanacane in first before we push the other one in. A little more lanacane. You won't feel it once you feel the first initial prick. Right? Did I believe her? No. But you know what? It brought me down to a reasonable level of anxiousness. Because the problem is when somebody's anxious, if you try to rush them, guess what happens? They freak out. They strike back. Verbal aggression, we want to be assertive. Okay? Somebody's calling you the F-bombs, you want to be assertive. I can appreciate that, sir. I understand you're frustrated. I'd probably be frustrated too if I was in your situation. However, I got to ask you, there's little kids around here in this hospital. There's sick people. They really don't want to hear this loud verbal abuse. I'm here to help. Listen, let's bring it down a notch, okay? I'll let you talk for 30 seconds and let me talk for 30 seconds. Okay, how'd that sound? The key is talking to somebody when they're upset like you would talk to your kid, that you're trying to talk them out of a major mistake that you've made previously in your life. We've all been there. Father John type of talks. And then physical aggression. You want to be defensive. You want to be able to protect yourself. I realize I'm at 5 o'clock, and I am very, very sorry. I'm going to go over a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to stop, okay? But strategies preventing and diffusing aggressive behavior. Number 1, you need to prepare yourself mentally. Gary has a famous saying, don't let the training tape run out. When you see something on television, or you hear about something that happened to somebody else that may be horrendous, that night I want you to go home, get nice and comfortable in your house, in a safe place. Close your eyes, start some autogenic breathing, see the incident unfolding in your environment against you, and then play out several variations of that, of what your response would be. Because what happens is, if there's nothing in this huge storage space of RAM under stress, guess what happens? Training tape runs out. You go condition black. Next thing you know, you panic. You don't want that. You want to have something programmed in there to do. Okay? When I banged on that door, I would hope there were people that thought for a second, if I got to get out of there, there's that door. It's easy. What other doors do we have? I want you to think about the most unconventional way out right now in this place. Those doors don't exist. These doors do. There's somebody in this building. We know there's a lot of different hallways in this hotel. What's the unconventional way out? Yes, you're right. Through the ceiling. About 75% of the buildings there are built just like this, drop ceilings. It's hollow, but not. You crawl right over the ceiling. You think about that. What if you're on the second, third, fourth, or fifth floor of the building? You got the doors blocked. Is it gonna hurt if you jump out the window? A lot. Did you say?
So I like to think so.
Okay. So if that's the case, were you a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout? A Girl Scout? Maybe?
Oh, goodness.
No, okay. But if you were a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout, what'd you think? What's an easy way out the window? It's gonna be ugly. I'll give you a hint. It's a rope. But what are we gonna use for a rope? We're gonna find out who's wearing underwear that day. Am I correct? Hey, trust me. If there's somebody coming down the hallway with a gun or it's a mass murder, it doesn't matter what you look like. Let me ask you a question while we're on situational awareness for a second. Did anybody notice anything when I left the room? What did I change? I changed my shirt? Did I change my shirt?
Your pants.
You have black
pants on, you had a sweatshirt on. You brought a bag and a.
I didn't change my shirt
You
though.
had this shirt on underneath.
I had the same shirt on underneath. Anything else?
Pants.
Did anything scare you when I walked in the door?
You had
I had a bag I didn't have before, right?
Kind of we were.
I looked kind of angry, right?
Yeah, maybe a little
I'm not sure what sure.
bit. Couldn't say.
Oh, belts. Now I'm taking this way out of context, right? But see, the thing is, when an act people pull fire alarms, you're not going to be able to hear it. Telephone networks are going to go down because everybody's calling. So we want to communicate non-verbally, listening effectively, and manage the stages of conflict. In other words, we don't want to treat somebody as being aggressive and do something like this. You think by having your hands in your pocket, standing there like this, acting like you're not scared of this person, is going to psych him out that you've got it under control, right? You know what he sees? A sucker. A sucker. So, if somebody's acting aggressively towards you, then you need to do, like Gary talks about, proxemics, very important, getting your hands up, chest height, spreading your feet so that your stance is a little wider so you're able to run and move in different directions, deflect. We will talk about more of this if we have more time in this class. Obviously, I didn't have enough time to do that. I had a little glitch as well. We'd also talk about some of the laws related to issues of employment, issues of negligent retention, negligent hiring. One of the big things today is negligent planning. What you need to know, and what I wanted to tell you about OSHA, is that OSHA says that we have to provide a reasonably safe place for our employees. Now, what does that mean? In a hospital, let's say, with one old guard that can barely walk on midnights, that doesn't allow an escort to the cars for the female nurses, let's say, is not practicing good safety for their people. I mean, your place shouldn't expect me to look like Fort Knox, but a place like the prosecutor's office, it would be expected that there is a competent security person there, maybe an off-duty officer. Somebody else is armed besides the investigator that you hope is going to come through, right? You need to start thinking about this. But if you have a problem, what you do is you tell your employer, you document it. You be nice about it. Send a nice memo. They don't listen, okay? If they don't do something, give OSHA. Let me tell you, OSHA makes the IRS look like choir boys. Once they are on your butt, they do not back down. You don't want them doing investigations on your facility, trust me on this, because they'll lose. It'll cost them much more money than to do something reasonable. So I've got a lot to tell you. I had a lot to tell you. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. I want to thank you for coming here. I'm sorry for the glitches. Never saw it coming. It happened. I'm sorry for the pound on the door.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And I want to thank you for coming. Thank you for your time. If you have any other questions, please see me. I've got a lot of workplace files and how to deal with situations even in different businesses as well. So thank you for your time.
Right now, this side. Live streaming?
Live streaming.
All right.
First, tell us who you are.
I'm talking right behind Kathy Trimboli. No. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Jill Weisenthal with Verbal Defense and Influence. And Doug just asked me to talk to a minute from you here live at the conference about bystander intervention. And it's something I wanted to talk to you about. It's highly important in grade schools, high schools, colleges, and the workplace. We just had an awesome presentation here by Guy Rossi on workplace violence. I guess I'd just like you to know a little bit about how implementing a bystander intervention program can keep you safer in the workplace. Today, Guy talked a little bit about people not noticing when things are changing, if people are more violent, if they start going to gun ranges or talking about camping, all those little red flag indicators. And in a good bystander intervention program, you're going to train how to see those red flag indicators and head them off before they turn into bigger issues like workplace violence. So we're having a great time here at the conference. We're also here to promote the new book, the new Confidence in Conflict for Campus Life book, which I'm extremely excited about. I know the team is as well, and I'll be presenting on that tomorrow.
Tomorrow you're going to be presenting?
Presenting tomorrow on social contracts for peace.
You got people all around the world watching. You can let us sit in and us collectively being everybody on the streaming. Can we sit in on your session and watch tomorrow?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll be presenting with Joel Ashley from Children's Hospital of Wisconsin. So we'll be talking about social contracts for peace and how to create a safer workplace or school environment.
All right, we'll shut this down. You're ready for the banquet tonight. Thank you so much, Jill.
Thank you, Doug.
We're trying to kill him.
On the fly.